So, you and your siblings just inherited a family home. If you're the one dreaming of keeping it, you're probably feeling a little overwhelmed, wondering, can I actually pull this off? The good news is yes, you can. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you have to sell just because there are multiple heirs. What if I told you there's a proven playbook for one heir to buy out the others and become the sole owner? In this video, I'm going to walk you through that playbook step by step. Losing a parent is devastating. Piling on the estate management, tricky family dynamics, and massive financial decisions can feel crushing. A lot of people in your shoes think selling is the only fair way out. But that's just not true. My name is Kathy, and as a real estate professional who specializes in inherited properties, I've been down this road with countless families. I've helped them navigate this exact challenge, saving not just the house, but their relationships too. This playbook will give you clarity and a path forward, turning a messy, emotional ordeal into a series of manageable steps. By the end of this, you'll have a clear strategy to keep the home you love. The playbook. Step 1, the family huddle. Communication is key. All right, first things first. Before you spend a dime or sign a single document, the first play is the family huddle. You have to sit down with your siblings for an open, honest, and respectful conversation. This is the foundation for everything. If you fumble the first step, the rest of the playbook gets a whole lot harder. Start by acknowledging how weird and emotional this all is. Everyone is grieving, and grief looks different on everyone. It can be sadness, anger, or just wanting to avoid the topic entirely. Kick things off by getting that out in the open. You can say something like, look, I know this is tough for all of us, and talking about the house is hard, but it's important we figure this out together. That shows you get it and sets a collaborative tone. Next, just tell them what you want without any pressure. Let your siblings know that you're attached to the house and you'd like to at least explore keeping it. Framing it as a wish, not a demand. For example, I've been thinking about the house a lot and it just holds so many important memories for me. I'd love to find a way to keep it by buying out your shares. If you guys are open to that, then this is key. Shut up and listen. Your siblings might have their own plans. One might need their inheritance money like yesterday. Another might be worried about the fairness of it all. Hear them out without getting defensive. The goal here isn't to solve everything in one meeting. It's to get all the feelings and finances on the table. You need to know where everyone stands. This first chap is about seeing if a buyout is even on the table and agreeing to handle this in a way that's fair to everyone. And it honors your parents. A smart move? Send a follow-up email summarizing what you all talked about. It can prevent a world of headaches later on. Step 2, know the score. Get a professional appraisal. Once everyone has agreed to at least look at a buyout, the next plan is to get an official score. For a house, this means finding its fair market value. Seriously, don't skip this step. A fair deal is impossible if you can't agree on what the house is worth. This isn't the time for Zillow's estimate or a quick guess from a buddy. These are all ballpark figures at best, and they won't hold up legally or financially. You need to hire a state-certified professional appraiser. Appraiser is a neutral expert whose entire job is to give you an objective, legally defensible value of the property. Here, why that's so critical. The appraisal report becomes the official number for all your buyout math. It takes all the guesswork and opinions out of the equation. You're not arguing with your sister over what you think the house is worth. You're all just agreeing to trust the number from an impartial pro. This one move can head off so much conflict. The appraiser will do a deep dive, inspecting the home, measuring it, noting its condition, and comparing it to similar homes that recently sold nearby. The final report is a detailed document that spells out the value. The state itself usually pays for the appraisal since it's a necessary step in settling assets. When you pitch this to your siblings, frame it as the ultimate fairness tool. It makes sure we're all on the same page and everything is 100% fair. Let's hire a pro appraiser to give us an official number. This builds trust and shows you're committed to doing this the right way. Step 3, the financial game plan, calculating and funding the buyout. This is where the rubber meets the road. We've got to figure out the numbers and how you're going to pay for this. It's less scary than it sounds. It's a two-part play, the math and the money. First, the math. The formula is pretty simple. Take the appraised value, subtract any debts on the property, like the mortgage, and then divide what's left, the equity, by the number of heirs. Let's run an example. The appraiser says the family home is worth $500,000. There's still a $100,000 mortgage on it. That means the home equity is $400,000. If there are 4 of you, each of you have a 25% share. So you divide that $400,000 by 4, which is $100,000 per person. Since you're keeping your share, you'll need to buy out the other 3. Your total buyout amount is $300,000. Now, part 2, where do you get $300,000? You've got options. 1, cash, the easiest route. If you have the savings, you can just write your siblings a check. They sign over their interest in the house to you, and you're done. It's clean, it's fast. 2, conventional mortgage or refinance. This is the most common path. You essentially apply for a loan to buy the house from your family. A cash out refinance works well here. In our example, you get a new loan for $400,000. $100,000 of that pays off the old mortgage, and the other $300,000 goes to your siblings. The house itself becomes collateral for your new loan. Just know lenders will be looking at your credit, income, and debts to approve you. 3, specialized inheritance loans. What if you can't get a conventional loan right away? There are lenders who offer products like probate or estate loans. These are bridge loans designed for this exact situation. Using the inherited property as collateral, the interest rates are usually higher, but they get the deal done. Once the house is officially yours, you can then refinance that loan into a normal long-term mortgage with a much better rate. 4, a private deal. If your siblings are on board, they could essentially become the bank. You could create a private loan agreement where you pay them in installments plus interest. If you even think about going this route, you absolutely must get a lawyer to draft a formal contract and a deed of trust to protect everybody. Step 4, calling in the ref, the legal process. With your money lined up, it's time to make it official. This is where you call in the pros, a real estate attorney or a title company. This is not a DIY project. Trying to handle the legal paperwork yourself is a recipe for disaster that can cloud the title and cause legal nightmares for years. Your attorney's main job is to get the house out of the heirs' names and into your name only. They'll handle 2 key documents. 1, the buyout agreement. This is a binding contract that lays out all the terms, the official value from the appraisal, the buyout price for each sibling, and the payment timeline. Putting it in writing leaves no room for confusion and protects everyone. 2, the deed transfer. This is the legal paper that actually moves ownership. Your siblings will sign a deed that gives you their share of the property to you. Once you've paid them, that deed gets recorded with the county, and the property title is officially updated to show you as the sole owner. This clear title is what a lender needs to see, and it's what gives you the undisputed right to the home. The attorney will also run the closing, making sure your loan money pays off the old mortgage and your siblings correctly. Paying for these legal services is a small price for the peace of mind of knowing it was all done right. Step 5. Don't forget the tax man. Tax implications. The final play is dealing with taxes. Now, I'm not a tax advisor, so you absolutely must talk to a tax professional. But there are a couple of key concepts you need to have on your radar: the step-up basis and property tax reassessment. First, let's talk about the step-up basis, which is usually a huge win for the heirs. When you inherit a house, it cost basis for tax purposes is stepped up to whatever is fair market value was on the date of the owner's death. So if your parents bought the house for $50,000, but it was worth $500,000 when they pass, that $500,000 becomes the new starting point. Here's why that's a big deal for your siblings who are being bought out. Their share of that new $500,000 basis is $125,000 each. Since you're buying them out for that exact amount, they have zero profit, and therefore typically they owe no capital gains tax. However, you have to be careful here. This benefit could be limited or might not apply at all, especially for very high value estates or for assets held in certain kinds of irrevocable trusts. Therefore, also being talked in Washington about changing these rules, with some tax exemptions set to expire as early as 2026. So you have to confirm the current law with a probe. Second is property tax reassessment. In many places, a change of ownership can trigger a reassessment of the property's value, which can mean a much higher annual tax bill. While some states have exclusions for transfers between parents and children, these are not all universal and are becoming more limited. The risk of your property taxes jumping significantly is real. So you have to check your local laws carefully. An attorney or tax advisor can tell you how it works in your county and help you file for exemptions that you might be entitled to. Handling the what ifs, the penalty box. So what happens if this all goes sideways? What if you and your siblings just can't agree? This is when you risk ending up in the penalty box with a legal move called a partition lawsuit. Any co-owner has the right to go to court and force the sale of the property through a partition action. If one sibling is digging their heels in and wants to sell, they can sue, and a judge will almost certainly order the house to be sold, often at a public auction. This is the nuclear option, and it's bad for everyone. First, it's expensive. Court costs and lawyer fees can drain thousands from everyone's inheritance. Second, it's slow, ugly process that can destroy family relationships for good. And finally, a forced auction sale almost never gets you the best price for your home. The whole point of this playbook is to avoid that mess, but you should also know that many states have adopted something called the Uniform Partition of Heirs Property Act. This law can give heirs more rights and options, slowing down a partition sale and creating more opportunities for a buyout. It's a bit of a safety net, but not one you ever want to have to use. Following this playbook is the best way to guarantee a fair result and keep the family and its assets intact. Let's do a quick recap. Step 1, the family huddle. Start with open and honest communication. Step 2, know the score. Get a professional appraisal for a fair, objective value. Step 3, the financial game plan. Do the math and get your financing lined up. Step 4, call in the refs. Use an attorney to handle the legal transfer perfectly. Step 5, don't forget the tax man. You get professional advice on the tax situation. Inheriting a home with siblings is complicated, but it doesn't have to end with a for sale sign in the front yard. Keeping the home is absolutely possible. By using this playbook, you can navigate the process with confidence, be fair to your family, and create a win-win for everyone. If you're in the exact spot and need a little help building your own playbook, click the link in the description to schedule a free discovery call with me, or send your email and we'll just send you the copy. We can talk about your situation and figure out the best next steps for you. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more tips on navigating the wild world of real estate.